My mom told me I chose a dead woman over my own brother. Those were her exact words. Chose a dead woman. And the thing is, she wasn't entirely wrong. I did leave. I did get on that plane. And yeah, I missed the birth. I missed the first breath, the first photo, all of it. So here's what I need to know. Does the reason matter? Or does the fact that I wasn't there say everything? Okay, so context. My name is Danny. I have one brother, Marco, who is 4 years younger than me. Marco and his wife, Priya, had been trying to have a baby for almost 2 years. It was a hard road, losses, treatments, appointments. Our whole family had been holding our breath for this pregnancy. And I mean the whole family. Group chats, weekly check ins, my mom already had the nursery color picked out in her head. This baby was the thing everyone was waiting on. At the same time, I had a best friend, her name was Claire. We'd been close since we were 11 years old. College roommates, co-maids of honor at each other's weddings, the kind of friendship where you still finish each other's sentences, even after living in different cities for years. Claire had been sick for about 8 months, cancer, and it had moved fast. Priya's due date was March 14th. Claire passed away on March 11th. Her funeral was March 15th, one day after the due date, and here's the part where it gets complicated. Priya went into labor early. March 14th came and went without a baby. Then the 15th arrived and she was still in labor. I had booked my flight weeks in advance, before Priya went into labor, before any of this collided the way it did. I was supposed to fly out the morning of the 15th and be at the funeral by early afternoon. Claire's husband had asked me specifically to speak. Not just attend, speak. I'd already written something. I had it in my bag. At about 6 a.m. on the 15th, my mom called me. Priya was still in labor. Active labor, progressing probably hours away. And my mom said, and I'm quoting here, "You need to stay. She needs her family around her. Claire is already gone. She won't know if you're there." And I couldn't accept that framing. Claire's husband would know. Their kids would know. I told my mom that I had made a commitment, that I was one of the speakers, that I couldn't pull out 3 hours before a funeral. She went quiet for a second and then said, "So you're really choosing this?" I said, "Mom, I'm not choosing anything. I made this commitment before any of this happened." She said, "Marco needs you there." I said, "Marco has Priya. Priya has Marco. They have each other. Claire's husband is burying his wife today and I told him I'd be there." We got off the phone badly. I got on the plane. I spoke at Claire's funeral. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, standing up there, talking about someone I loved while my phone was in my pocket and I couldn't look at it. I didn't look at it until after, until the reception had started and I had hugged Claire's husband and her kids and done the thing I went there to do. And that's when I saw it. Marco's message, a photo of his son born 11:47 a.m., healthy, perfect. And then 3 words underneath the photo, "Wish you were here." Not angry, not accusatory, just 3 words, and somehow that was worse. When I got home 2 days later, the fallout was waiting for me. My mom wasn't just upset, she was cold in that specific way she gets when she's decided you've crossed a line. She said, "A birth is once, you only get one first day." I said, "A funeral is also once." She said that wasn't the same thing and I said, "Why not? Because one is about life and one is about death." Claire's family was grieving. I made a promise to them. She said, "Your promise was to this family first." And here's the part I keep turning over in my head, because Marco himself never said that. Marco texted me a few days later and said he understood, that he was a little hurt but he got it, that he knew how close Claire and I were. He was kind about it, genuinely kind. And weirdly, that made me feel worse, not better. Because if Marco forgave me, why couldn't I forgive myself? The thing I keep coming back to is this. My mom isn't wrong that it's a moment I can't get back. I missed my nephew's first day on Earth. There are photos in that hospital that I'm not in, and I will never be in, and nothing changes that. Was I honoring Claire, or was I running from something hard? Was I keeping a promise, or was I protecting my own grief at the cost of my family? Priya has been warm to me since, warm, but a little careful. Like she's decided to be generous about it, but hasn't entirely landed on how she feels. My mom still brings it up. Not constantly, but enough. At dinner a few weeks ago, she said something about the people who showed up for the baby, and she didn't look at me, but she didn't have to. And my nephew, he'll never know any of this. He'll just grow up knowing his aunt loves him, which she does, which I do. But some part of me wonders if he'll eventually hear the story, the way kids eventually hear all the stories. And I wonder what version he'll hear. So here's where I land, or where I'm stuck, really. I went. I kept my word to Claire's family. I believe that mattered. And also, I missed my brother's son being born. I wasn't there. I made a choice, and I've spent every week since turning that choice over like a stone, checking the underside. Was I wrong? Was I the one in the wrong? I honestly don't know anymore. Some days I feel like I did the only thing I could do. Other days my mom's voice is just there in my head. Chose a dead woman over your own brother. So I'm asking you because I genuinely want to know if that was you. If it was your best friend's funeral, your brother's firstborn, 1 hour of overlap, and a commitment already made, what would you have done? Honestly, though, what would you have done? Comment below.